Our entry-level class is Mommy and Me. It begins at ages 2, and it's a adult and child class that they get to enjoy together and bond through. It allows the child to build confidence with the safety of having a familiar figure with them. Toddlers at this age are learning through imitation. Their verbal skills aren't very well developed, and so parent will do it and the child can mirror that. Their cognitive development is just starting to form with their motor skills, so those neural pathways are being formed and they need to be repeated again and again to make those communications through the syntaxes really light up and work, and that's what we're doing in class. Joy of Dance is our class for ages 3 to 4. This is the first class that they're not accompanied by an adult, and so they're coming into class by themselves with their teacher. We spend the first 15 minutes doing a warm-up in a circle, just exploring movement, warming up their bodies. Maybe we'll sing some songs, and then the next 30 minutes we will do an environment-themed adventure. That just means that maybe it's set in a beach area, or for Halloween, like a haunted house. They're starting to relate what fits into an environment. So at the beach, we'll have beach balls and sand castles and crabs and seagulls. As we go through the adventure, maybe we'll fly like a seagull, or we'll swim through the seaweed like a mermaid, or toss our beach balls back and forth. So we pair an action with each thing that we're learning about in our adventure. The goals for this Joy of Dance class is just to get them more aware of their coordination, of their body control, and make them familiar and comfortable with movement and musicality. Creative movement is our ages from 4 to 5. It's similar to Joy of Dance in the way that it's structured. We have that circle time that they move around and warm up and get comfortable with the classroom, and then the adventure, which is 30 minutes long. Our adventure at this age is plot-based. So our circle time for creative movement is experiencing a larger range of motion. We'll go from sitting on the floor to jumping up to the very tallest point. We're discovering like the distal ends of our body, so we might stretch our arms out really big or our legs out really wide. We're learning how to stretch a little bit more, becoming aware of our posture, so we'll sit up tall like a giraffe, and then we'll sit over small, maybe like a turtle or something like that. So they're just becoming aware of that ballerina strong back feeling that we learn about later. Kids at this age are becoming more familiar with a narrative-based structure, so the storybooks that they've been reading, they can follow along with the plot better and notice the main characters and what's happening to the character. And most of our adventures at this age are built around Little Red Riding Hood, or Ferdinand the Bull, or Swan Lake, or Sleeping Beauty, to incorporate some of our more ballet-themed stories. So it's really fun. Pre-Ballet 1 is our introduction to ballet, some of the foundational principles of ballet that we haven't talked about before. We walk into class like ballerinas. We stand in straight lines at this point. We have a series of specific exercises. The music starts and the music stops, and it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. We're still having a lot of fun, so everything's kind of paired with an imaginative story to go with it. Like we'll be catching butterflies here, or we're hiding from something here. But what we're doing in our bodies is more similar to classical ballet technique. In Pre-Ballet 2, they're 6 years old, and we're furthering our ballet terminology and vocabulary, creating stronger bodies, and the class is a little bit longer. It's the first time that it's an hour long, so also maybe building up some endurance and focus to have that long of a class. Our ballet terminology becomes a little bit more specific with the words that we're using, and we're learning our demi-plie, but we're also learning how to tendu. So essentially a tendu is standing on one leg and sliding the other leg out. And so it's transferring your weight from 2 feet to 1 foot. We learn how to do a triplet, which is the beginning of a waltz step. So it has a 3-3 musicality, and the pattern is down, up, up, down, up, up. So we're talking about the pattern, we talk about the music. We practice doing it across the floor, and we tell them it's the beginning of a waltz, which is a step that they'll use in ballet for the rest of their lives, and they get to learn it here at this point. Pre-Ballet 3, it's the last level of children's program. The next level is in our academy, and so this level is really preparing them for that big step, that big transition, making sure that they're strong and flexible and have endurance, but it still caters to their age of being 7 years old and still keeping it imaginative and playful and lighthearted. So we're learning more advanced ballet concepts and terminology. It's a lot to think about at that age, but they have a lot of fun and they work really hard. It's good to see the work ethic starting to develop at this point, where they learn mental fortitude and how to push themselves and really focus.